Hi, friends. Welcome to Read Aloud today. Remember, we're reading about family books. Yesterday, you guys listened to a book about all different kinds of families, but today we're going to read about one family member specifically. This book is called Abuela, and that word means grandmother in Spanish. Abuela. So remember, this is the front cover, the spine, and the back cover. On the front cover, there are three things. The first thing is the title, which is Abuela, and the author, which is Arthur Doros, and he wrote the story, the words, and the illustrator, Elise Clevin, and they drew the pictures. So remember our two vocabulary words we've been talking about are characters and settings. So let's see if we can't find all the characters in our book and the setting. So where the book is taking place. Remember, there could be more than one. And on the title page, Abuela. Abuela takes me on the bus. We go all around the city. We don't live in this city. We live in the country, a rural country. So we don't have a lot of city transportation like a city bus. Abuela is my grandma. She is my mother's mother. Abuela means grandma in Spanish. Abuela speaks mostly Spanish because that's what people spoke where she grew up before she came to this country. Abuela and I are always going places. So Abuela is not from America. She is from a different country that speaks Spanish. Today we're going to the park. El parque es lindo, says Abuela. I know what she means. I think the park is beautiful too. So el parque means the park, as lindo. Lindo means beautiful in Spanish. Tantos parojos, Abuela says, as a flock of birds surrounds us. So many birds. They're picking up the bread we brought. So tantos parojos means birds, and tantos means so many. So there's a lot of birds everywhere. There are birds. There are a lot of birds. What if they picked me and carried me high above the park? Ooh, what if they picked me up and carried me? That would be scary for one. What if I could fly? Abuela would wonder where I was. Swooping like a bird, I'd call to her. So if she could fly, then she'd see me flying. Rosalba the bird, Rosalba el parajo, she'd say. Ven, abuela, come, abuela, I'd say. So Rosalba is this little girl's name. And Abuela is called Rosalba el parajo. So that's Rosalba the bird. Rosalba then said, Ven, abuela. That means come, grandmother. Si quiero volar, Abuela would reply as she leaped into the sky with her skirt flapping in the wind. Then she responded, Si quiero volar, and that means, yes, I want to come with you. So then Abuela also flies into the sky. We would fly all over the city. Mira, Abuela would say, pointing. Wonder what? Mira. What if I said, mira, mira, and I pointed at something? That would mean, oh, look over there, mira. And I'd look as we soared over the parks and streets, dogs and people. So if they flew over the whole city, what would you see down there? What did they see down there in the city? We'd wave to the people waiting for the bus. Buenos dias, we'd say. Buenos dias. Good morning, they'd call up to us. Buenos dias means good morning. We'd fly over factories and trains. So they'd see the people at the bus where they were at that morning, and then they'd fly over factories and trains. And trains are another kind of transportation they have in the city. People ride trains to work and to school. We don't ride public transportation normally here. And glide close to the sea, cerca del mar, we'd say. We'd almost touch the tops of the waves. Cerca del mar means close to the sea. Cerca means close, and mar is the word for sea or ocean. Abuela's skirt would be a sail. She could race with the sailboats. I'll bet she'd win. We'd fly to where the ships are docked and watch people unload fruits from the land where Abuela grew up. Mangoes, bananas, papayas, those are all Spanish words. So are rodeo, patio, and burro. Maybe we'd see a cousin of Abuela's hooking boxes of fruit to a crane. We saw her cousin Daniel once unloading and loading the ships. So in Spanish, we say mangos, but in English we say mangoes, and bananas is bananas, and papayas is papayas. We just pronounce them a little differently. So Abuela must live over the ocean. They had to fly over the ocean. Out past the boats in the harbor, we'd see the Statue of Liberty. Me gusta, Abuela would say. Abuela really likes her. I do too. Me gusta means I really like something. We would circle around Liberty's head and wave to the people visiting her. That would remind Abuela of when she first came to this country. This is in New York City. The Statue of Liberty is. She holds a torch up. It's a giant statue that's out in the middle of the bay or like the ocean, like where the ocean meets the land. Vamos al aeropuerto, she'd say. She'd take me to the airport where the plane that first brought her landed. Ciudado, Abuela would tell me. We'd have to be careful as we went for a short ride. So vamos al aeropuerto. That means let's go to the airport. And the word ciudado means careful because if they're flying and airplanes are flying, they might run into each other. Then we could fly to Tio Pablo's and Tia Elisa's store. So Tio is uncle and Tia is aunt. And I bet a lot of you have aunts and uncles too. Pablo is my uncle, my Tio, and Elisa is my aunt, mi Tia. They'd be surprised we flew in, but they'd offer us cool limonada, which is the word for lemonade. Flying is hot work, pero quiero volar más. So, but I want to fly more. Abuela would say, she wants to fly more, and I want to fly more too. We could fly to las nubes, the clouds. One looks like a cat, un gato. One looks like a bear, un oso. There's the cat. See if you can find the bear. Oop, found him right there. One looks like a chair, una silla, where they're sitting right there. Descansemos un momento, Abuela would say. She wants to rest a moment. Descansemos un momento. Let's rest one moment. She would rest in our chair, and Abuela would hold me in her arms with the whole sky, our house, nuestra casa. Nuestra casa means our house. We'd be as high as airplanes, balloons, and birds, and higher than the tall buildings downtown. But we'd fly there too to look around. We could find the building where my father works. Hola, papa, I'd say as I waved. It means hello, Dad. And Abuela would do a flip for fun as we passed by the windows. There's Papa. Mira, I hear Abuela say. Look, she's telling me. I do look, and we are back in the park. We are walking by the lake. Abuela probably wants to go for a boat ride. Vamos a otro aventura, she says. She wants us to go for another adventure. That's just one of the things I love about Abuela. She likes adventures. Abuela takes my hand. Vamos, she says. Let's go. All right, friends. So in our book today, we have a few characters and a few settings. So our main characters in our story is Abuela is probably our main character, and another main character is Rosalba, and that is the little girl, the granddaughter of the Abuela. Also in our story, we have some other characters like Papa. We hear about Papa and Tio y Tia, the uncle and the aunt. And in the story, they go to a lot of places. So the first place they're at is the bus and then the park. And what other places do they go? What do they fly over and see? Remember, they fly into the sky, they fly over the city, they fly out over the ocean into the Statue of Liberty. So, and remember, in this page, they visit and fly over the bus stop again, and they fly over the factories and the trains. They fly over the sailboats, and then they fly to a different country across the ocean to visit the family that Abuela left to come to America after she came to America. So let's think. There are lots of different places that they were at, like Pablo y Elisa's store, their aunt and uncle's store, and then the clouds, and then they made it all the way back to the city and to the park and ended the story by the lake. All right, friends, thank you for joining me today.